Hey, it's Amir and this is another segment of the Daily 10 of the Talent Tango podcast here with my brother Arash.
What's up?
All right, so back into the office we go. Here we go. And what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about,
Employee happiness?
sure, you got to have happy,
Well, yeah, so
you got to be happy.
yeah, no, well, I read an article yesterday and it was, what drives employee happiness at work?
You came in with homework today, people. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I
good.
was doing some research
Research
yesterday.
and
No,
homework.
but so I thought it's interesting just because to me, first and foremost, happiness has a different definition to every person. But I think there are definitely some things we can kind of extrapolate that makes sense overall that would lend to more people being happy at work.
Well, I mean, we're all in the office for what, 50, 60 hours a week. I mean, we're here most of the time. I joke I spend more time with, people at work than I do with my wife on a
It's
given
true.
week, even including the weekends. I'm home and I see her for a couple hours a day and the weekends, but I'm still here most of my waking hours. So, I think if you're not feeling engaged and happy and you have a little bit of that energy to drive you every day, and you just feel like it's a drain, it's going to affect your performance. It's going to affect the way you view the company. It's going to go home with you. You're going to be upset. I mean, you're just not going to. I really think, we talk a lot about mission and what people like to do. I really think if you're not, feeling fulfilled in your job, it's a drain in a lot of aspects of your, because that's the time. That's where your time's going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's 100% true. I think the flip can be true too, right? Where if you're not happy outside of work, it can definitely affect your work. But some people use work as that kind of, it's like an athlete where, something bad happens in their personal life, they really hone in on their work because that's the one thing they can rely on. It's going to be there every day. It's going to be there on the days you don't want it to be there and it's going to be there tomorrow kind of thing. So, I do think it's a little bit about the psyche of each individual person, but I think when you look at it from a whole, what can an organization, what can a company, what can a team, like if you start getting granular into, what can the specific manager do or just, employee to employee, right? I've had a lot of friends that I've had become, really close friends from work.
Mhm.
To your point, Amir, you spend a lot of time with them, you grow bonds and whatever the case is. So I think there's a lot of components to it. It was interesting how this article was honing in on one aspect of, work life balance and how that really constitutes somebody having, happiness at work. And then it kind of, to me, it's like great. Like, that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for a balance between both worlds. Um, and I think that's an interesting just component of being happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends how you view it. So if you're talking about bringing people into your company, you want to set them up for success, right? You can only control what you can when they come in the door. You want a good, healthy environment. You want it to
Sure.
be inclusive. Hire managers are paying attention towards what they see to have the right one-on-ones, the right, performance evaluations, make sure the other components of that employee, the fulfillment side's there. But then obviously when they go home, and if they're having a difficult home life and that comes into the workplace, that could be another, wrench in the works where again, a strong team, a strong manager might be able to identify some issue and pull an employee aside, say, hey, is everything going okay? Anything we can help with? Maybe, and I think because we all have bonds, it's kind of, they kind of become in, fairly family oriented bonds at one point. We become more comfortable. We'll share more. And there are people that just feel like work is, a barrier around them. They don't want to share it because
Yeah,
it's
and
where
that's
they
totally
work.
acceptable. That's
Yeah,
fine.
and they
That's
keep
no
it,
worries.
and that works too. I think, man. I think where this, really, managers are the front line. They know what's going on with an employee to have a sense of, whether they're being productive or their productivity's been affected. But I to the article you were referencing, I personally believe, and when we hire people here internally, we always say it's one of the things that's really important is for somebody to come in and really to enjoy the group and feel like it's not work. Like I really am happy to hear when people say, "Oh, I can't believe the day's already done." That's you're enveloped in your work. You feel positive things are going. If I'm looking at the clock, just counting down minutes, and it's funny is you go to some places and you overhear employees talk, and you're like, "Oh, I got 2 more hours." Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, you have 2 more hours, but that's also 2 more hours of your life. Like, if you're that unhappy that you're just punching a ticket to get that 2 hours done, there are other things you could do, with your life if you really, wanted to kinda go that path as well.
Yeah, I tend to say this all the time that, I like what I do, but I also like not doing it as well, right? So I think it's getting to that place where you don't feel like it's per se a job, right? Where you feel like, hey, this is something that I get enjoyment out of. And how you get enjoyment out of that could be different, right? It could be for some people it's, you know, how much money they take home. For other people,
Sure.
it could be the challenges they're facing. For others, it could be the mission of the company or what we're trying to accomplish, as a greater good. So I think you got to spend the time to identify those things with people that you work with and
Well,
figure that stuff out because there could be some slices of that fit and maybe some that don't. But if it's like a pie, if the all of the good is greater than the bad, then that's a good to me work environment that could lend you to be happier than other places, right?
yeah, and I think it also depends what generation you're in. So I think younger generations really look at their, like,
Are you younger
responsibilities.
to know this?
I'm not. I'm gonna be 45 this year, but, I pretend I
Sorry, I
am.
had to throw that in there.
A-hole. But younger people, not I, to clarify that, they do look at the social responsibility that they bring to the table. They wanna put their energy and time for a company that they feel has something that aligns with their values. We see that a lot. I think, different again, different demographics are looking for different things in their job, and I think companies who are hiring have become very attuned in understanding what those are and how to adjust.
Yeah, and this is an interesting stat in this article. 3/5 of the respondents in this article, 62% said that they would take a pay cut to work for a company with the mission they believe in. And I just bring this up because I think on both ends, anybody that's ever been in part of a interviewing process, you know, compensation is, oh, that's the only thing that's important. And it's not. So I think it's very good to bring up that yes, money is important. People have bills to pay. They have a lifestyle that they want to maintain. But more and more, I think across just generation gaps, it's what kind of impact the work you are doing, right? To get fulfilled, you need to feel good about what you're doing, right? It's not just, hey, I got this paycheck and it's big. It's what did I do today? And also, I think something that maybe came out of a conference call that Amir and I were just on, it's what impact does this have to the actual business and the revenue that the company is generating? I think there's a gap a lot of times between being able to explain what you're actually doing and the bottom line of how it actually helps the company grow. And I think that's a big disconnect that, if explained more, I think would really give people a little bit more clarity on why they're there, just more than just these are my job responsibilities, you know?
It's funny that I worked someplace where I chatted with the custodian in the office, and this person had such positive energy, right? Like, just absolutely did their job, enjoyed it, saw the value they provided in their
Sure.
role, right? Everyone has a different role, and had so much. I mean, I think a couple times a day we chat just because I was like, I wish I'd be half as happy as he is at his job for anyone, because he just it didn't matter. Like, and again, I think it's context. Like, he is happy with what he did. You could tell he was a happy person. He brought that happiness to work. He felt fulfilled. Maybe somebody else who had that job would have gone, "Well, I don't want to do this. This isn't what I want to do." Would have been negative, and not that he's going to materially change the face of the company, but the fact is he contributed towards a positive work environment, and I'm sure everyone who came in contact with this person would have felt that
I
that
agree.
energy.
Well, it's a matter of environment, right? So the more positive energy that environment has, the more happy everybody is, the more fulfilled they are from anyone, top of the food chain to the bottom. It's only going to make going to work happier, and hence you're going to have a more happy workplace.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so that is our topic for today. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you guys do to make the place you work at happier, or what things happen that make you happy to go to work.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious to see, like, if there's a case of that one person in the office that just lifts the energy for everyone else because they just are positive and they just make work that much better for everyone else. I think those people are the superstars.
Yep.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thanks.